Okay, so our plan is to swap out the old garbage, unreliable, with this new Holy Grail Labs blade fuse, the typical ATC blade fuse style. So you can see basically it just transfers the bladed connections under the fuse box into the receivers to take blade fuses. So that's basically it. Now we have to do the painstaking work of switching it out. So let's go over the car here for a second, and we'll show you what needs to happen. First, that guy comes off, and then let me just show you real quick. Like literally, if you've ever had to deal with these, this one, if it's not zip tied, you'll have to you would push on this and it would literally trigger stuff in the car. Like the electric door locks and crap don't work. These are annoying, and it's time to change them out. So I think everyone has felt the pain of this and not having different things work on their car. Like you can hear this one's loose. Just wiggling it, you can hear it triggering relays inside. So anyway, pain in the butt, and we're done with it. So time to swap it out.
We're going to start by removing the main engine harness plug and all of the relays and all of the fuses. And then we're going to unbolt this. I think it's just a couple of 10 or 8mm bolts. And then we're going to try to loosen the harness up, flip it over, and document where all the wires go with pictures. You want to make sure you take lots of pictures, more than you would think.
We've got to remove the battery leads because you don't want to fry stuff. Yeah. So we're going to do that first.
Remove these bolts that are holding that down.
Shout out to Milwaukee right here, providing light and tools. If you don't have this kit, it's the best thing ever. Just a random plug there for Milwaukee.
Yeah, we're not sponsored. We just love to waste our money.
Yeah, if you want to send us stuff, Milwaukee, we'll take it.
Yeah. All right. Just these little cover thingies that go in there. That should free this up. So, and then it just kind of pops off of there. But before we go too crazy, we're gonna take all the relays out. I've already got the horn relay out because my son was honking the horn.
These are going to take a second, so we might cut between all these.
Just want to be careful taking them out.
Just wiggle them out gently,
yeah. Okay?
So these ones on the side, they're keyed, and they just slide in just like this. Like that. So just slide them out. Like these guys right here, you can slide them up and off. And they just pop off with their keying, and they have little covers, so just hang on to those covers here.
Alright, so now we're going to remove all of the old Euro style fuses.
Throw these directly into the trash where no one else can use them. Do not attempt to save them for your buddies with other E28s. Just tell them to buy this kit.
If they're plagued with electrical problems like this car has been from day one, then that would be a good idea.
Or just bend these over and just solder them together. Just forget the fuses.
Wow.
That one is already toasted.
Incredible.
This one's probably not going to come easy.
Also important to note, we disconnected the battery.
Yeah, disconnect your battery so you don't fry stuff. That would suck if you toasted your wiring harness because you didn't. And then we got this last guy right here, which we got to be really careful too, but this guy will just wiggle out. And that guy just has barrels, and that just pops out if you squeeze these down on the sides and on the bottom.
Okay, so lastly, you're going to want to take both of these Phillips screws out. You don't want to remove that. That's your main power supply connection. And if you take that off, it'll be difficult to reconnect. So we're going to go ahead and pull these out. Once you've done that, this should just lift out.
Should being the key word. Most of the time, stuff when you say should takes 30 minutes to 4 hours more than you expect.
Yeah.
This is going to be 4 hours. It's just... There we go. There we go. Now, be careful. There's a rat's nest of snakes in there. Yep, as expected. Ratville, Tennessee.
You want to pull this
USA.
grommet out right here so that you've got a little bit of slack. I assume it's helpful to do that on this one as well. And this guy. That way you can just get this case. Clean it if you like or not, but get that out of the way.
This looks bad, but it looks worse in other people's videos that we've seen.
Yeah.
We just got to do it piece by piece, right?
The advice that I've seen from Holy Grail, and at least one other person, is to just take lots of pictures.
Take a video like we're doing.
Yeah,
or watch our video.
I mean, there's a lot of wires. I actually think I'm going to take the time to write down where each one goes real quick. Just because I've had so many electrical problems with this car that I don't ever want to have to deal with this again.
We don't want to risk it.
That's what inspired me to buy the kit. Luckily, it looks like, upon a quick glance, we don't have any melty issues. Like, everything looks pretty solid, so we're just going to log where everything goes, take a bunch of pictures, and then we're going to show you how to pull these out.
Okay. We'll rip into it here. We're just coming in here, labeling all the blades, and then I'm just putting a slash on all the power feeds for the blades. So this is where the power comes in, this is where it goes out. And then on the inside, I'm just putting one with a slash, seven with a slash. You can kind of see it. And a lot of these from the factory, they're actually labeled. So if you can see, there's like green with yellow, and this is green with yellow. And there's like yellow with orange. This is like, they have purple, and then purple, white, and blue. So it's not very difficult. Like, from the factory, they made this legend for the people that put these together to not mess them up. But yeah, we're just gonna go through and write down the numbers on all of them, just so we don't mess it up. Taking our time on it. And if you're good, we're gonna make a spreadsheet and we'll share it with you guys. So stay tuned, okay? Just stay with me. So let me give you a little rundown on these. You can see in here, there's like your color chart. And not all of them, but some of them can have 2 blades per one number. So you might have like one, we just named them like what they're labeled, but like one can house 2 different terminals on the back, and not all of them use both terminals. Like this one just uses one, but there are some like on this back side, like on 6, where it does use those. Or you'll have some that share, like one main power may have multiple terminals. Like you can see here and here are 2 main powers coming from this same blade. We just call these the dash. And so those are just spread apart, but yeah. Anyway,
So
we're just
we
going
labeled
through
the front of it.
Yeah, we're just going through sequentially, just labeling all of them.
Yeah, flip it over.
So we got like 7, 8, 3, and then the ones that are on the blade feed side, we call them slashes, like 7 slash or whatever it be.
Yeah, so this has numbers. debossed in it from the factory, molded into it. And so we wrote them nice and big so we could see them. And then you have your row, and these are like your fuse positions. And then we did dashes for the one that's across from it. And then we took a picture of that. And then as we go, we're cataloging, you know, 1 and 1 dash for this number, so that when we go to put the new Holy Grail board in, it's fairly easy to know which wires should go where, and hopefully somewhat foolproof, like we won't mess it up. So that's where we're at now. Got a nice little spreadsheet going right here to show that.
So now we're just coming in gently with a flat blade, maybe sometimes not so gently, and you just pry these guys up, and then we're gonna pull them out with some pliers. These are gonna be fighters, just plan on it. So far, I think, what are we, about an hour into this? And we're just being careful, so I'd say it's a couple hours if your things are going well. We have come across some of these that are very difficult, and we've tried heating them up and different methods of getting them out. A lot of times these ones will just snap off, and on the back, they'll give you a really hard time. And so we've got a little method here that you might need to use, because in the end, all you need to do is pass through all of the pins to the back side and then just connect them. So here we go.
So one thing you'll notice about this pin here, these are what the pins look like on the back. They have this little flared out part right here, and this is what's in the plastic. This is why it's so hard to get them out. And so I've watched the Holy Grail video, and his seemed like they came out fairly easy using his method of putting the screwdriver under and prying and then pulling with pliers. Mine did not. I ended up breaking a lot of them off. And so what you can do is get a 16th inch drill bit, just the smallest drill bit you can possibly get. And then you can go to the side of the pin right here and drill a hole in the plastic as close to the edge of the pin as possible. And what that'll do is it'll just give it more room so that it can slide and come out as you pry on it. And in some cases,
you can see right there.
Yeah, these came out nice and easy. In some cases, I drilled a hole on both sides, but in some cases, I only needed one side and it came out. So
seemed like once you got one of the retaining prongs up, that you could just pull it out, right?
Yeah, that's the hard part, is I can't get under.
You just got to get one up.
I've tried the tiniest screwdrivers I have. I've tried picks.
I mean, we've got this. I mean, we've tried it all.
Yeah, so this is a minor little hole you're gonna drill, and you're gonna do less damage doing this than you will trying to pry on it with screwdrivers and breaking the plastic. So I just get as close as I can and drill a little hole in that. I'm gonna do the same thing to this side because this one's so close. Just gonna get as close as I can to the pin. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here.
And I mean, when these are done, you're going to have so many pins in here. These are just for the ones that won't come out. I mean, it's not like the board's going to fall out if you have a few of them that don't have a ton of retention. I mean, on the backside, these are all held in really well, and it's not like this thing is being violently moved around.
So now you can try to pry under it. You can see this one is very difficult, but
see that?
I was not able to get it.
Dude, we tried for like an hour on just a few of these, so
yeah,
believe us.
This will save you a lot of time. Then you can get your bigger flathead in here. This one's...
See those retaining pieces right there? Those little barbs? Right there. You can see them. Then, yeah, you can just grab some pliers, pull that sucker out. So, word to the wise, do it the easy way first, and then you don't have to suffer. So, just drill those babies out with a very small drill bit.
Work smarter, not harder. I already stabbed a hole in my hand on accident. Should have just drilled them from the beginning.
Don't mess around.
Okay, the next step, we got to cut off these little guys so that the circuit board will fit down.
All right, we're ready to throw in the new board. One thing to note, and the Holy Grail Labs video mentions this, but these can get bent a little bit in shipping. So if it's struggling to go in, just try to, lift it up and see which one of them.
Straight.
You can bend them a little bit and it won't hurt them. He recommends spraying WD-40 in here. I don't like that idea, so I'm going to attempt it without any oil first. But we'll see how difficult it is. And he did mention you can put a fair amount of force on this to get it to go in. You just don't want to be going like crazy hammer time with it if it's not finding its way. I can already see that some of mine aren't necessarily going to line up, and we're just going to have to work with it. It's also recommended that you start on like the back side and get those in first, and then kind of like roll it in. So let's see if we can get these to go in first.
Oh, looks like it's already starting to go.
Yeah, it seems like it. Those ones seem like they're seating pretty well.
Nice.
So now we can kind of try to roll it in.
So we're just gonna fidget with this for a little bit. And if we find any other better ways, we'll let you know. But it looks like starting at the back and just rolling them in slowly seems to be working okay. And then you can flip it over on the back side and make sure that everything is like aligning up and you're not missing any. So
Yeah, that's actually probably even more helpful. Oh, looks like, is that plastic?
maybe there's one that's in the way.
They kind of look like they're all starting.
Oh yeah. So just working them in slowly seems like it's paying off. Kind of just using your palm to push on the...
Yeah, try to spread it out. You can put quite a bit of force on it. You're just not supposed to put lateral force on these fuse holders. He actually did it with the fuses in. And the blades are made to sit extra long because this isn't made to go completely flush with this. It's going to sit a little bit above it.
So what do we see underneath? Yeah, you can already see them starting to protrude.
Yeah,
that's looking good.
I think we can get it a little bit deeper.
Yeah, see? Just pushing a little bit in every area. Just give it like a zone. Every few inches, just push a little pressure and get them to seat down. There we go.
Seat down.
Beauty. When things just work out.
Yeah, and then I don't know what his recommendation is, but I know they're not made to sit all the way flat because of the design of the pins. So I would say as long as you've got plenty of room for your connection to slide on, you're probably good. And that kind of looks like what was there in the factory. So I'm going to give it one more push to make sure everything looks as good as it can, and then we will go from there. So this is the wire that's supplied with the kit that powers the LEDs to indicate if you have fuses that are blown. You can put it on a number of ways. There's a small pin here where this switch is on the back side. It's this tiny one right there. That's where this wire is going to go. And so you can, I'm going to run mine through the original grommet right here. So it looks like somebody's already run something through it, and I think it can handle one more little wire. Again, the guy that ran it through, he sprayed it in WD-40. I'm just going to try to do it without anything or use soap.
This goes straight to the battery, right?
No, this gets grounded. So
Oh, it's the ground.
yeah, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can put it to the chassis ground that's behind my temporarily relocated coolant reservoir, where all these grounds come right here. Or you can do it straight to the battery. But yeah, you want to make sure that that it's got a good connection. And then this little switch is kind of nice. Lets you turn on and off the LEDs if you don't want them on all the time.
Okay. Sounds bueno.
So we will feed that through.
Let's rock and roll.
Push it through the flathead too. There we go. It's nice and clean through the grommet like it was OEM. Like BMW said we want this.
next step is wiring it all back up. And it looks intimidating, but if you labeled it nice and good, it will be easy. So the way that we took it out originally was we just started it at 1, went all the way down, then at 7, went all the way down, then 15, then went down. So we're just going to do it in reverse order to try to lay the wires in the same manner. So these guys in here are going to go first. We got everything back in, populated the fuses just according to this. You can see under this here, everything that was labeled went back really easily. What's nice is there's actually less prongs on the Holy Grail labs. Like a lot of the ones that were unnecessary had been removed when they designed the board, which is cool. Yeah, it's looking good. Just checking to make sure everything's nice and tight, and taking a voltometer and making sure there's continuity between where there needs to be. This one you have to bridge for US spec cars, and I will do that here in a minute, but just wanted to show everything's back in. It's honestly not that bad. The hardest part is getting the old prongs out on here and just making sure you've got everything. Here you go. Here's the sheet. If you want, you can pause the video and go through this. Just slowly pan down this and you can take a look. The slash is the powered side. So on our 13 slash, 14 slash, that's this side where the power feeds. And then the actual pin is just the number. So like 11 and then 11 slash. So it'd be like 11, where's 11? 11 and then 11 slash. Anyway, it's kind of nice to have, you know, some references with notes, and then the colors on the stripes, and the color on the main, and what position it is. So you can make a chart like that, or you can just use that one. And yeah, we're gonna get this thing back together. Just gonna do some continuity checks, and we should be good to go. So there we go. Here's the Holy Grail Labs. Okay, so blower fan, keys on. Stuff that has previously basically never worked is working now. And it's stronger too. Like we're getting less voltage drop. And then the power locks have never really worked reliably. You've always had to like shake and like squeeze this fuse to make the power locks work, but now they're working good. So yeah, this is an immediate upgrade. Immediate for all the old garbage. And we're just temporarily grounding this, so there we go. Sweet, what do you think?
Worth it.
Yep. Gonna throw this back together and now have a car that works. Sweet as. We just cleaned that up just to make it nice, and time to put it back together. Okay.
Here's what you can look forward to getting rid of. All of these crusty connectors that never work that well and don't have a lot of contact with the fuse. And then of course the fuses that are equally as bad and don't have a lot of contact.
Yep.
Even when these are new, I've taken a Dremel and cleaned these contacts several times, and it never has really lasted. So
Bin it.
bye-bye.
Chuck it in a bin. All right, and that concludes the installation. We're gonna clean up a bunch of this, so don't look at that and don't look at this. Just imagine how good your vehicle will be when you have electrical that just works. Another thing that I want to point out that is a crucial component of this, the main positive connection to this entire system comes out and goes over here. And a lot of the times it's corroded from where the battery terminal is all the way up. Like you can keep cutting it back and you'll just see it's like corroded and like green for where the copper's rotting. So make sure that you cut this back and put on a new piece of 10 or 12 gauge all the way to where the wire's good. That's another crucial component that we've learned over the years. So if that you want to save yourself, just make sure that your connection here is actually good. Otherwise, all this stuff doesn't matter because all of that's broken. Another thing that could save you get brand new battery cables. If yours are old and garbage, just get new ones. We had so many electrical demons between the starter and here, and it was just that wire. It's like $8 at your local auto parts store. So take care of that. And yeah, shout out to Holy Grail Lab.